This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so I have total 14 years of experience. Out of that, first 3 years I worked on EBS technologies, where I worked on mostly on SQL, PL, SQL, BIP reports, OTBI reports, and integrations. And from the last 10 plus years, I am working on fusion technology. So I think you are all familiar with the fusion technology, where we are going to learn this ERP technical, so which is going to cover both BIP reports, OTBI reports, and OIC integrations, which are the more which are the major technical area which we are going to cover as part of this training. So from almost 10 plus years, I have this fusion experience, real-time experience in project level. And at the same time, from the last 5 years, I have a training experience. I used to give corporate trainings and daily trainings as well. So let me share my screen. So where I'm going to explain what I'm going to cover as part of this training. So this training is divided into two sections. One is for BIP reports, the another one is for OIC integrations. So in the reports, we have both BIP reports and OTBI reports as well. Let me share my screen. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
So this is the agenda for BIP reports. Okay, it's having it's going to this agenda is designed in such a way that it's going to cover each and every concept which is available in the BIP. Once we gone through these concepts, so you don't need to you can face any situation in the reports point of view. So it is going to cover basically what it means. It's going to cover introduction of BIP reports, roles, and what are the different layouts we're going to use, output formats, because at the end report is going to generate an output format. Right? What are the different types of output formats are there? So if you want to generate an output format, which layout you need to use? First, if you want to have access to BIP reports, what roles are required? So what are the different types of roles? And which role, how it is different from other role? So all these things which we are going to cover in day one. And coming to day two, we're going to create wizard-based reports. Basically, in BIP reports, of course, it's a high level. I'm not going to get into the deep because it's the first day. So what it is going to cover is wizard based, because reports when you are going to create, you need to design a layout. So Oracle itself created an option to design the report with the help of wizard option. That we're going to cover, and selecting the data, spreadsheets, BA subject areas. Of course, you are not familiar. It looks complete new for you, but these are the concepts which you are going to cover. So to develop any report, what we need first? We need a source of the data. So if we need a source of data, we need to create a data model with respect to BIP reports. So that data model, how to create, what are the different ways to create a data model, and how to connect those data models, how to pass parameters to the data model, all those things we're going to cover in the second class. And there are specific properties also associated with it. I think let me navigate and show you. Before that, let me show you the PPT which I prepared for that one. So this is somewhere around 90 pages PPT which I prepared only for the BIP reports. So let me show you here. So here you can see the roles. What are the different types of roles are there? What is their significance? That's what I'm talking about just a few minutes before. And as I told you, right, there is a standard wizard option available as part of the agenda that you can create with the help of this kind of reports, which you can create with the help of a standard wizard option which is available in the reports. And if you want to design a layout or report, you need to know what are the different types of layouts available. So there are multiple layouts available: BA publisher layout, BA text format, and portable document format. So what is the significance of this layout? This layout will help you to understand which output format you can generate and which one is flexible. Why I'm saying flexible is, right, of course the CSV output you can generate in BA publisher layout and rich text format also, for example. But when you need to use BA publisher layout, when you need to use rich text formats, that you can decide once you understand the functionality of this layout and the purpose of this layout. Okay, for example, let me show you e-text template. Even in e-text template, you can create a CSV format, which is used for electronic fund transfers. And even in the BI publisher layout, you can create a BI rich text format also, you can create a CSV format. But the way you're going to create in the e-text format is not going to match the way you're going to create in the rich text format. Of course, the CSV format remains same, but in this format, automatically headers will get generated. The CSV format headers, that means the column heading names will be get generated. But when it comes to the e-text template, the headings, you have control whether to display the headings or not to display the control. That control you have only in the e-text templates. So by understanding this layout, you will get to know, if you get into the details, we'll get to know which format we need to use, which layout format we need to use to generate the desired output format. So that's why it's very important to understand the layout types in BIP reports. And so with the help of the layout types, we can generate output formats. For example, if you are using the BI publisher, these are the output formats you can generate. If you are using RTF, you can generate these output formats. So this is how these layouts and the output formats are correlated. So these are the output formats we have, and each and every uh, in a report we have majorly two parts. One is data model, which is try to fetch the data. Another one is report. So both report and data model have their own properties. So what is property? Property simply means it helps you to change the behavior of the application. For example, in Internet Explorer, if you want to change the property, for example, if you want to zoom in and zoom out, what will change? The way the application behavior is going to perform will change. The same way, even in report and data models also, you can change the behavior of the application. Is it fast? Is it going fast? Is it okay? Hello? Are you able to see my screen first?
Yes, we are able to see yours.
Okay. So you can see here a report have multiple properties. So we're going to go through each and every property which is available, so that in real time, if any issue occurred or any behavior of the report need to be changed, so you can go through this one, because we're going to cover each and every option which is available. For example, here we have general properties, caching properties, formatting properties, font mapping properties, and currency formats. Each one of them has their own significance, and so based on the changing of the property, the behavior of the report output will change. So that we're going to go through. This is report level properties. Once we've gone through the report properties, we're going to upload templates, nothing but the layouts which we are trying to use. For example, RTF layouts, PDF layouts, XML templates, right? So once you upload these templates, of course, now we are building this report for Fusion, right? How many of you are familiar with the Fusion environment, the ERP environment? What is ERP? Can anyone? Do you guys have any background about ERP? Hello? Okay, let me tell you one thing. The prerequisite for to learn this technical part is at least you have some basic idea about the ERP environment. Very basic. Of course, we're going to cover a very basic details about the ERP, and at the same time, you should have some knowledge on the SQL, because we're going to teach you the BIP reports, right? So BIP report, the source of the data will come from a data model where we are going to write an SQL query. So you should have some understanding about the SQL as well, and the ERP concepts. What is Fusion? Okay. So basically, if I need to explain about ERP, it's ERP, the Enterprise Resource Planning module. So it's an application which is provided by Oracle, and it have a lot of modules, 52 plus modules. So why we need this ERP? So when large scale of business are operating, and to make their job easy, they need some sophisticated application. They can't rely on some small scale or small application which we are used to see in hotels and all those things, right? So based on the business, the level of the maturity of the application should be on a higher level. So when it comes to the ERP, it's a ERP. This ERP Fusion is provided by Oracle, and it is there in the market from last more than 20 to 30 years. So it's a lot matured. So the big businesses like organizations which are scattered across multiple entities, multiple legal entities, across countries, continents, can use and can understand what exactly it's going in their business. For example, if a business is there, what are the main transactions? Normally, what you are aware, what are the transactions will happen in a business? Anyone? What kind of transactions will happen? Basically, what kind of transactions will happen, right? Payments will happen. That means we need to pay to someone, right, who provided the goods to us. And the same time receivables. That means you need to receive the money from the uh, customer to whom you provided the goods. And the same time you have your rentals, and you need to maintain your employees, and you need to maintain your inventory. That means the goods which you received from the supplier, you need to maintain in some inventory location. So these kind of things, many things will be there. So there are multiple modules in the ERP. AP for payables, AR for receivables, FA for fixed assets, and GL for general ledger accounting. So this is for only financial module. Coming to SCM, you have inventory. That means where you're going to maintain the goods. Order management, how you're going to manage the order. And procurement, so purchase orders, requisitions. And not only the SCM, there are PPM, PPL, sorry, project portfolio management. And you have HCM, human capital management, where where they're going to maintain employees information and their hiring process, salaries. Everything is maintained within the same application. When you're maintaining a lot of information within the same application, the end user, that means the client, that means the business owner, should in a position to access the data when and where he need it. So that kind of flexibility is provided by only BIP report. That's where this importance of BIP report came into picture, which is one of the most sophisticated tool which can generate any report within 10 minutes. Even it's a 10 lakh records, it can fetch within 10 minutes. That will happen only if you use right method, the right options, and proper SQL, a proper tuned SQL. If you're using, then only you're able to fetch the data. Fetching the data itself not sufficient, right? We need to present the data in a understandable format. Means that is nothing but reports. So what business is going to do? Business is going to understand the data, and they're going to take a decision based on the data, what it is going to be appeared in the report. Okay. So of course, when this business is scattered across multiple countries, for example, if you're generating a report in English, and if you try to generate the same report in Japan, they're not able to understand the data by seeing it, right? So they need their own language. So where the translation came into picture, that means the same report you can develop once, but you can execute in Japan, in China, or US, India, wherever you want. According to the language of the user who is using the application, the output will vary. Okay, that is where this translations came into picture for reports. Style templates, basically the main purpose of the style template is to maintain the styling across the organization reports. For example, if you try to generate any statement associated with the HDFC bank or SBI bank, when you try to generate an output, all the outputs, all the tables, all the fonts which you are seeing mostly will same across. The reason behind is they are going to apply a style template. So when they are going to apply the style template, they are going to keep the information, what font we need to use, what size we need to use, and what is the border we need to use for a table. All the styling information they're going to keep in the style template. Even after developing, they're going to apply the style template to that report. So the styling across the reports will remain same. Otherwise, it's very difficult to maintain the styling across the reports, because one report will be developed by me, another report will be developed by another person. So it's very difficult to maintain the styling, and even if you provide the guidelines, there is a possibility that he is not going to follow the styling options guidelines. There is a possibility of manual error. That's what I'm trying to say. So to avoid that, Oracle came up with option style templates, and there is one more option available in VIP report, sub templates. So here, when it comes to sub templates, so the main objective of sub templates is So you try to uh, uh, generate a report output. Normally, what we'll see in the report output is logo we'll see. So you generated 500 reports, and all 500 reports have a logo on the top left corner. But assume that on the next day, organization decided to change the logo. So how many reports we need to change? All the 500 reports we need to change. So if you need to change all the 500 reports, it's very time consuming and a lot of resources we need, and this is a cost for the organization. So to avoid that cost, Oracle came up with an option called subtemplates. So whichever is going to be repeated multiple times or multiple reports, you can keep it in a subtemplate as a source, and from there you can refer. So whenever you need to apply this all this in the 500 templates, just you need to refer the tag instead of. So if you want to change the logo, now instead of changing all the 500 reports, you just need to change only one subtemplate where this logo information is available. That is the advantage of subtemplate. And so what are the that's what we discussed, right? Data model, layout, and properties. Data model will have data, and layout will have what format it need to generate, and properties is the behavior of the application. So I'm just telling in a higher level. We're going to cover all these concepts in in detail in each and every class, but just trying to give an overview about it. So here, so by using the data model, what are the different types of so as I told you, right, one is SQL, and you can upload spreadsheet as well, and you can use a subject area as well. So these are the three options which are available. Basically, we're trying to cover each and every option which is available. Okay, and so how to create a report using the wizard option which is provided by Oracle. That is one way of doing the reports. But majorly, like in most of our reports, we're not going to follow this approach because it have its own limitations, because it's a drag and drop tool. It's easy to develop. When something is easy, there are some limitations, because not Oracle can able to achieve every possible scenario in these kind of reports. But when we are going to do it, when we want to display something like graphical way how we are displaying right now, right? So if we want to do that, then we're going to go with uh, these standard BA publisher reports, because it have flexibility for that. If you want to develop the same report by using any other template, you need to do a lot of coding, which you can avoid by using this layout. So of course, if user want to interact to the report, the first part is parameters. Without parameters, a report will always generate the same data. With parameters, you have an option to restrict for which business unit, or for which legal entity, or which country you want to see the data, for which dates you want to see the data. That you can control with the help of configuring parameters. So what are the different types of configurations we have? Text, menu, date, set. These are all the different types of parameter types we have. And what are the default values we can pass? Sysdate, first day of the month, last day of the month, first day of the year, last day of the year. These are all the options we have. Configure and parameter with default values. Okay. And menu type parameter options. Multi-selection. That means you should give a flexibility to the user, right? So whether user is going to select single parameter, or he want to select multiple parameters, or you want to select a single and multiple combination together, or he want to see the data for all the parameters which are appearing in the list of value. List of value means nothing but where you're trying to fetch the parameter values. So that you can control here, because we have menu parameter options available. So this is what I'm talking about: SQL query and fixed data. So here we're going to write a query, and this from query, the pop-up will populate the data for the parameters. And so we have some event triggers also. So one of the advantages with this event triggers is using before and after data, right? So in EBS we used to write a PL SQL, but in Fusion it's restricted. You don't have an option to write any PL SQL package or procedure, and you don't have an option to write any you have an option to create a table also. So basically, elements will appear, right? Create, order, drop, rename, truncate in SQL. These things you cannot perform in our Oracle database. It's highly restricted. So only fetch the data. So the before and after is not going to work. It will work only with existing packages, not with the new packages which you are going to create in EBS. Okay, and I can output options. So within the data model also there are some properties. What is the significance of each and every property? If you enable this, what will happen? If you disable this, what will happen? So these are the properties available, and we can this is the data model. What you're seeing here, it have multiple. It have a provision to create a multiple data models, G1 and G2. So how to connect these data models? What is the purpose of creating multiple data models? When we need to create? So if we create, how to join these two data models? What are the different types of links available? Create link is option is there. That is one link, and the group level link is also there. So basically element level link and group level link, that's what we're going to call it. You can see it's an element level link and group level link. So these are the options which are available. And so what are the different types of functions available? Because when you're trying to generate a lot of reports, right? So at the end summary, user want to see what is the total number of records we fetched as part of the report output, or what is the maximum number of salary which you are seeing, or the summary information. Anything which you want to perform, you can perform within the data model itself. There are few functions which are available, predefined, provided by Oracle. So those things you can see here, and data model properties and their significance, and in which scenario we're going to use it. So these options also we're going to cover as part of the training. So these are the ones which I already discussed, report level properties. So generating a report in CSV output format, and how to access a report using an URL. So you can create a URL and you can access the report. What is the purpose of accessing a report? Because when you try to call this report, there are two ways to run the report: running a report online and running a report by scheduling. But if integrations wanted to run this report, or some other third-party system trying to run this report, then you need to provide a link, right? That link you can generate within the BIP itself, and you can generate an path, and that path you can share with the person who is going to consume it. Configure layouts using list of values, salary layout and chart layout. So basically one report can have multiple layouts. So one layout will help you to generate PDF format, and another layout will help you to generate an Excel format. And another layout, if you can create, it will generate an output in CSV formats. So basically the data remains same, but the way you're trying to represent the data varies from the layout which you're going to choose. So you can see here default format interact to this one, first one, and the second one is PDF. That means the first purpose of this layout, the first salary layout main purpose is to generate interactive report, and the second one is to generate a PDF output format. Configure using a list view. Okay, these are the properties. These are again properties. So here we're going to generate a report. So because it's a core object in such a way that first I will try to cover each and every concept which is available. I'm not going to get in directly to show you how to create a report. So that I can do it, that is easy for me. But instead of that, what I am going to do is I'm going to first cover each and every concept, purpose, how we're going to do it. And like almost after half of the course, we are going to start creating a new report. So then only you understand what is the purpose, how we can utilize the concept which you already aware, and how we can apply it on top of the existing report which you're going to develop. So when you're going to create this report, you will understand, okay, what is the purpose of the data model and why we have that property, how I can utilize that property within this report. Those things you will understand. Okay, and this is sub templates, translations which I've already discussed. How to generate translations, and there are predefined system variables, so which will help you to get to know some information. For example, who is running this report, all this information, instead of writing some queries and all, we can directly fetch with the help of system variables. And report online, there are, as I told you, right, there are two ways to run a report running online and offline. In which scenario you need to run a report online, and which scenario you need to run a report on offline. What is the advantages? So how to tune the query? So because when you are running the report online, there is a limitation that if the report is taking more than a specific time limit which is configured in the application, it is going to time out. So if you reach out to Oracle saying that it's timeout, he will say that you're writing in a report in such a way that it is going to consume a lot of resources. Either your template design is wrong, or either your data model is having a very complex query. So what will happen? So you're not going to get any support from Oracle. So you need to fine tune the query. So when you can fine tune, or when you can do all these things, when you're pretty familiar about the properties which are available in the report, and you're very good at the SQL. That's why I'm saying the prerequisite is SQL is a prerequisite, and you need to somehow have basic understanding about the fusion environment as well. Okay, so you can see that SQL timeout less than 500 seconds, and this is schedule option. And okay, so we're in 65 slide, right? Let me show you the definition once. This definition will tell about the entire PIP report in one shot. Oracle Business Intelligence is a reporting and publishing application. Okay, reporting and publishing application that allows you to extract data from multiple data sources. That means it will allow you to the data from multiple data sources. What is the data sources? Multiple. We have fusion environment is one data source, and we have spreadsheet, and we have subject area. These are three different data sources, and create layouts for a report data. So we as we discussed, right, we have different layouts available. And what is the purpose of the layout? To generate an output in output formats. That's what it is saying. And publish the report to numerous output formats. And BAPP should also allow you to schedule the report and deliver the report to multiple delivery destinations. That means once the report is generated, we need to send it to the right person. For example, if you're generating a purchase order report and there are 10 suppliers, you can't send those you can download those reports, and sending that email to each and every supplier is like a time taking process. So instead of that, Oracle came up with a solution called bursting. Sorry. Bursting. So here, these options which you are seeing, right, split by, deliver by, and deliver quantity, these options will help you to split based on the supplier and deliver based on the supplier. And for that, you need to write a query. That's what this highlighted values represents. Okay, and so you are going to send it to the right person. For to deliver like that, you need to choose, right, which template you're going to choose, which local you're going to choose, which format, because report itself have these different options, which output format you're using, which delivery channel you want to send it through email, you want to send it to fax, or you want to send it to an FTP, and which time zone need to be considered while running this report, and calendar, output name. There are many things which are going to discuss in detail during the class, and these are all options you need to configure within an SQL. You don't need to write any configuration or changes, you just need to write it in the SQL. So after writing the SQL, if you copy it, and for example, let me show you. Uh, for example, you can see here this data model. You have an option here. You can see here, right? So as I told you, list of values, parameters, and even here you can see some data models they created to fetch the data. It will have a query behind it, which you are going to write, and you have a bursting option here, right? You can see. So you just need to select one, and you need to select split by and deliver by. So there is a significance for each and everything which you're going to select. And here you need to write a query in the format what it is showing here. Okay, let me show you. Yeah, here key template local, that means first column should be key, second column should be template, something. There is a predefined format for it. If you follow that, then once you save it, and there is a property which is available within the application. Once you do it, if you save it, and after that, even if you save it, that doesn't mean that it's going to send the report output to the destination. There is an option, one more option available under the properties. It's taking time. You can see enable busting. So if you select busting and if you enable, that's where this property change the behavior of the application. If you enable, then only it will send to the destination. Otherwise, it's not going to send to the destination where you want to send the report output. Okay, and just want to give a basic idea. And so there are layouts available, right? We have a normal standard BI publisher layout, and we have an Excel template, and we have a RTF template. So these are the templates which are available. So registering BI report on ESS job. So even from ESS job, you can call a BIP report. So there are 4 ways now. One, directly running a report online, scheduling the report, and uh, and there is one more way is uh, calling from ESS job, and there is another way which you're trying to run directly from an integration or third party system. So these are the 4 ways you can consume this report. What is the purpose of running a report from external systems? To extract the data and consume the data for that application, or to send the data to someone. So data is very critical even in organization. So security is like highest priority for them when they're going to deal with the data. Why I'm saying it's security is highest concern? For example, you have all the suppliers, you can have full access on this data model. You can check their financial status, how many transactions they are using, to whom they're paying, how much they're paying, and what is the contract, what is the bid amount. All these things you can see from within this application itself. So when you have that much flexibility, so if you don't have a control, the access restrictions, what will happen? Everybody will have that access. Then there is a possibility this information will be passed to the competitors. Then the business will go on, right? So that's why the data is critical. We should never ever share this business data with anyone. And so this is about how to create an ESS job and best practices. What are the best practices we need to follow while creating this PIP reports? That is also very important, right? So report will can be created anyway, but it need to be in a best practices. Then only it will fetch in a faster pace. And uh, so and there are so these are the all best practices which I prepared. And we need to do the performance tuning of the query. So when you're trying to do the performance tuning, what all things which need to be taken care. So those things also we're going to cover as part of this training. And you have an art, because when you're designing the layout, you need to put some tags. Those are very simple tags only if you understand. So how to put those tags, how to restrict the data, how to display conditionally, all these things we can get to know with the help of the RTF tags. So this is how this BIP reports and the same way OTB reports are designed to uh, like provide a training on this. Any questions? So anything which you are expecting beyond that? Anyone? Hello? Am I audible? Hello? Am I audible or not?
Yes, Krishna, you are audible.
Okay. Okay. Now, same way we designed integration as well. So this integration also we're going to cover. So what is the main objective of the integrations? So we have a SaaS and PaaS, software as a service and platform as a service. So these integrations will come under PaaS. So what is the main objective of the integration? So normally what business will do, business will acquire the data. So business will acquire some other organizations, right? All organizations will not run on the same Fusion environment. So what will happen? So they need to integrate the data, whichever is there in their a new company should be transferred to the existing organization Fusion environment where they are going to maintain that their entire information. So that point of time you need to some tool which will help you to transfer the data from one system to another system. So when they are transferring, that tool should have capability to do all the possible transformations, validations, and options to call REST APIs, and so all this kind of options should be available in this integration tool. So Oracle came up with a solution, that Oracle Integration Cloud Services OIC, so which will help you to solve the integration problems. It's an integrated, basically it's like a tightly integrated with Oracle. That's what we can say. So most of the projects, 99%, or I can say 90% of the projects which are using ERP Fusion environment, are they are going to use OIC only. Earlier they used to use other third-party tools, but now because Oracle is pushing everyone to use this tool, which is going to be like tightly integrated. So and they are keep on adding the additional functionalities as well. That is one of the added advantage of this OIC, and it's also a lot mature when compared to the previous versions. So here in OIC, what all we're going to cover? We're going to cover about the high-level overview of the Oracle Cloud, and what is the introduction of PaaS, SaaS, and IS, and integration challenges and SOAP. First of all, if you want to understand about the integrations, you should understand about the SOAP and REST. What are these web services? What are the different methods we have? We have get, post, uh, put, delete, and patch options available. And what are the different formats will generate on a response? XML and JSON formats, and so these are things which are going to cover. And so connections. So when I'm saying if you want to fetch the data from the company which you acquired, so you need to establish a connection, right? That is the first thing which you need to do to fetch the data. Once you have the connection, then you can think about how to fetch the data, what data you need to fetch, what filters you need to apply. So this is the nothing but adapters or nothing but connections in OIC. So these will help you to establish a connection. Once you apply the connection, of course, there are different types of connections available, and you can configure it as a trigger connection, or you can configure it as an invoke connection. And there are security concerns, like security configurations which you need to do on top of these connections, because when it is a connection, it always tied with the security. And you don't need to do any coding for this OIC integration tool. Everything is 90%, it's a drag and drop tool. Only thing is you need to understand how to design based on the requirement, how to do the error handling, and how to send a communication whenever there is an error happened, how to reprocess those errors. So these kind of things you need to understand when it comes to OIC. When it comes to BIP, you need to at least you need to write a SQL query. Of course, SQL is very easy, but comes to OIC, you don't need to write any query. But nowadays OIC is not alone sufficient for any organization, right? They are looking for resources who are good in BIP, OTBI, and OIC, and Fusion Technical. So this OIC also plays a major role, and for a technical resource who need to create integrations. And here we're going to cover, so what is this SOAP adapter? As I told you, right, connections, we're going to go through SOAP adapter, REST adapter. These are 99% we're going to use majorly these connections only. We're not going to go beyond it until unless there is a third party system came into picture. Why I didn't include any third party system, right? It depends on the company where they acquired. If they acquired Salesforce, you need to use a Salesforce adapter. If they acquired some SAP, then you need to use SAP adapter. So it's completely varies. But these are the main adapters which you're going to use: SOAP, REST, database adapter to fetch the data from the database, and file adapter to read that file data. And in file adapter itself, we have polling option and FTP adapter and ERP cloud adapter. This is a predefined adapter which is available, which with the help of this you can directly run few jobs, and you can follow you can do the FBDI process as well. So FBDI is nothing but a file-based data integration that you can do directly with the help of this standard adapter which is available. And there are few orchestrations also available: app-driven orchestration, schedule orchestration. So orchestration is nothing but the design, how you're going to design this integration, on what basis. To choose this orchestration depends on the requirement. So if it is an app-driven orchestration, there is some specific purpose. If to schedule, your objective is to schedule this report on a daily basis or weekly basis or monthly basis. That means on a specific interval of time. If you want to run this integration, then you're going to go with the schedule orchestration. And publish to OIC, subscribe to OIC. This is publish and subscribe mechanism, which is provided by Oracle. So these things are there. And there is a file transfer. You want to transfer file from one place to another place. There is also file transfer option also available. Okay, and these are the orchestrations which are available that also we are going to go through. And so we are going to create small integrations by using the trigger and the source connections, trigger and invoke connections. We are going to use the data mapping, and we are going to show you what are the different types of data mappings available, and what are the tracking fields, what is the purpose of it, and activating and testing the integration. Those things we're going to cover. And so basically here also it designed in such a way that first you need to understand each and every concept which is available in integration. So once you are familiar with them, it's very easy for you to apply in the actual integration which you are going to start. For example, if you see here, these are all the concepts. So here you can see encoding and decoding, file read, for each, while, switch, scope, logger, note, notification, wait, invoking integration from other integration, fault, that means error handling, resubmitting an integration, creating schedules, basics and advanced. Okay, so there are different ways to create scheduling. So basic is there and advanced option is also there. And once all these concepts are covered, we're going to cover integrations, how to create this SOAP service app-driven orchestration integration end to end. We're going to show you, and after that we're going to use show you one file transfer integration, and after that we're going to show you complex file transfer, and at the same time REST API in OIC app-driven orchestration and GL FBDI integration. So once we cover these integrations, so you will get familiar with almost all the options which are available in the integration area. This is the main agenda of this program. So if you have any questions, then I can answer you.